In the spirit of season predictions, I am joined by the young king, Austin Cookson, and today we're going to reveal our 2025 AFL Ladders.
I reckon there's probably 15 teams have finals expectations, so could be a bit dicey. This could be a bit anger.
We'll go in alphabetical order where we think each team will finish. So we'll kick things off with the Adelaide Football Club, and I will say that the Crows, I've got them in 12th.
I've got them in 12th.
Get out of town.
We have not
Celebrate with me.
That's crazy.
That actually is fun.
I've got them in 12th.
It's an easy one where when you're doing the sort of power ranking and the shuffle before the season, they fall down some spots just because we haven't quite seen it yet. But it wouldn't surprise me. Like, they almost made the 8 a couple of years ago.
I wouldn't be surprised if they found form and, like, if they push top 4, like mid-season, they're looking like a top 4 team. You wouldn't be surprised.
I love the players that they've added. They're not superstars.
Who have they added?
Peatling, Cummings and Neil Bullen. But that kicks out some of the fringe players that can go play Sandful and earn their spot. So now they've got some contests for positions on the ground. It adds to their depth. Let's move on to the Brisbane Lions. It's not often that the reigning premiers finish top 4 the next season. It doesn't happen a whole heap. I have Brisbane 7th.
I have Brisbane in 10th.
What the hell?
Yeah, well, look, this is what I was thinking.
Oh, no.
I was making this list on the train, and I've been racking my brain about it for a long time about this list, and I've had Brisbane from 1st to 10th to... Yeah, I don't know. I've settled on them at 10th because this is my thoughts. They had a very average home and away season last year. Like, it was probably their worst home and away season for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
They just hit form come the second half of that final series.
And it's funny because in recent final series, they've been really good during the home and away and they fall short in the finals. They almost flipped it this season.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I reckon they have a lot of players that when they're playing their best, superstars, like really, really good. But to me, inconsistent. Eric Hipwood, you don't trust him as a key forward.
Kadeen Coleman and Levi Ashcroft. There's a couple of inclusions that does wet the whistle a little bit.
And like Levi Ashcroft, I mean, I don't watch too much under 18s footy, but from all reports, he's a superstar. But can you rely on Levi Ashcroft coming? I mean, I know it's a premiership team. A premiership team is not like Levi Ashcroft's going to have to come in and move the needle.
Are they as hungry though?
Well, maybe not. I don't know. I just think Neil, is his body all right? He was sort of injured in that final series. Yeah, Zorko, a year older. A lot of inconsistent players. Again, if they find form and are hungry, I mean, they can win the flag again, obviously. But I wouldn't be surprised if they just have a bit of a dip.
Where do you have the Carlton Football Club?
You say first. Where do you have the Carlton Football Club?
I've got the Blues second, and I've got them winning the flag.
Wow. I haven't thought as far as where I've got winning the flag because it could be fucking anyone. But I've got Carlton finishing top. I don't know why. I feel like there's a little bit less expectation on the Blues this year. Maybe not. Maybe that's incorrect. But what I'm hearing is people aren't expecting Carlton to be as good as people were expecting them to be last year. And I feel like if they're reasonably healthy as a group, Doherty goes all right. Charlie, I know he's got some injuries. He's struggling a little bit. But if you get all those boys healthy, I know Newman's already out for the year, but I could see that team really flying.
I'm really excited by our man, Nick Haynes. Floating around in the back line.
Yeah.
All-Australian defender to complement Wiedering.
Yeah. Carlton, as far as spines in the AFL, like, I think they just about have the best. Like,
absolutely.
Name for name, like Mackay, Curnow. I think Tom De Koning,
love Tom
genuinely,
De Koning.
I reckon he's a smoky for that All-Australian ruckman. I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of the season we're going Tom De Koning is the best ruckman in the comp.
One of our second favourite sides.
Yeah, I really do love the Pies as well. I've got them in 6th.
I've got them in 9th.
Oh, really? The last dance, the last hurrah for the boys.
Yeah, I just feel like just shy.
In an ideal world, I've been wanting this for years and years. I want a Carlton and Collingwood grand final. I think there's a serious possibility that could happen this year. Yeah, I think the Pies, what don't they have?
Do they have a key forward? Like, I know Membry and McStay and Myerchuk.
I feel as though Membry's a huge pickup for him. Membry, yeah.
We've seen worse forward lines win flags.
Is it any worse than Brisbane's key forwards last year?
Is it any worse than when they won the grand final?
It's better.
Let's not start about the D's key forwards when they won.
I think McStay, Myerchuk and Membry is really good. I actually wanted the Roos to pick up Membry. I reckon he's like one of the best third options you can have.
I really rate Craig McRae. So
yeah,
he's one of those coaches where you almost can't count out every season. Yep. Essendon Football Club, they've just been in no man's land for a long, long time.
I think Essendon are one of those teams internally be saying, we're going to play finals this year.
Yep.
I think as a club, they think they're going to be playing finals. I don't think they're going to be playing finals. I've got them in 14th.
I've got them in 14th.
What the fuck? Cheat sheeting.
It's one where like they played finals a couple of years ago. I feel like by round 16 every season, they're in the top 5 or 6, and then they just drop off. So they don't have the fitness or the endurance, whether it's mentally, physically, whether they have the personnel that can run the gauntlet of the full season. They always seem to peter off towards the end of season. So I put Essendon in the Adelaide basket, where it's like until they prove it to me, I can't, like when I do the shuffle of the teams, I can't really put them higher. Like I wouldn't be surprised. They've had first round picks. They're all of an age where they should be contributing at AFL level now. So if that crop now develops into a really good footy side, it wouldn't surprise me. But until they do it, I probably can't back them in.
If you're an Essendon fan, you're probably listening to this going, are you serious? Like, we're going to be good as. And I think there is potential for them to be really good.
And if you follow it closely, you probably know more than us. But until I see it.
Well, if they have a healthy Ridley, he's a superstar.
Ben Mackay is really good.
Mackay was really good at the start for them. He faded off a little bit towards the end. But yeah, I think Mackay's going to be really good.
We talk about Tom De Koning. I think Draper has elements.
Yeah, Draper definitely has it. I still think if he's healthy, you roll with Goldie, to be honest. That's a personal opinion. I know they're not going to do it, but that's what I would go for.
Peter Wright could kick 50-odd.
I saw people, Essendon fans, saying Peter Wright's going to struggle to get a game. If Peter Wright is rolling at his best, he's going to be, Caddy, another year older. Dill Shield, they think he's going to go off the half back this year?
Yeah, I don't mind
If he's healthy and in the mix, get his confidence up, I think they could be all right. Freo Hevo, people are huge on the Dockers.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how they handle expectations, because they've just been a team that's sort of been middle of the table. They're over in WA. There's not as much scrutiny from a Victorian standpoint. Like the big shows don't go after them.
Yep.
Over there, no doubt they cop it. This is the season where if they do start sort of 2 and 3 and struggle a little bit, the heat will be on them. So I'm excited to see how they handle that.
Where'd you say you had them?
I didn't. I do have them in third. I think I just love the whole crop. I think their midfield is astonishing. I think their rucks are amazing. I love Luke Jackson, and I think Sean Darcy puts it all together from a body point of view. He'll be a gun. Sure. I love the big kahuna. I like Alex Pearce. I like Luke Ryan.
Alex Pearce is good.
Shea Bolton. A crazy acquisition.
That's going to be huge. You got him rolling around that forward line and going through the midfield. That's
so where have you got the Dockers?
I've got the Dockers at 7th. I get why people are high as on them, and I think, Freo should be really pushing to try and get a flag this year.
Yep.
But I don't trust their key forwards. Tracy had a great year last year. Amiss was up and down last year, but the year before was amazing.
I guess the question is, when do they blossom? This year? Is it next year? Is it the year after? It feels like it's about to happen for them, but I feel like it's coming.
I think they really did themselves a disservice of not sneaking in the finals last year.
100%.
I felt like even if they had have lost the first final last year, like
had to make it.
I think they needed that jump, and then, all right, we did it. We've beaten that hurdle. Just had to make this year. I know it doesn't. Footy's not always linear like that. Yeah. You can go down and up, but I just felt like it would have really helped the club to just slide in last year.
Perennial contenders, Geelong Football Club. Surely not again.
They're the most professionally ran club in the country.
Surely not again. Austin Cookson.
I had them first on the ladder for a lot of this summer. Geelong have been number 1 for me, just because I trust.
How do they keep doing this?
Purely because I trust them. I think Bailey Smith's going to fly. Chris Scott, he's got to be the best coach in the league.
They've lost Tui, they've lost Hawkins, they've lost Selwood in the last couple of years. They just keep rejuvenating.
Well, I've settled on them at 4th.
Yeah, nice. I got them at 6th. Yeah. I think I've gone past leaving them out of the 8. They probably bought 5 years of being in my top 8. They were probably a kick away from a flag. If they beat Brisbane in the prelim, given what
Archie and Rayner stopped them from winning a flag.
Given what the Swans trudged out on grand final day, they probably were a kick away from a flag.
Chris Scott, he's the best coach in the country. He's got to be.
Love him.
I know we're not, growing up in Geelong with all that success they had, we're not the biggest Cats fans. I've come around to him.
I've come around to him as well.
Yeah. I love Bailey Smith, so him playing there does help me a little bit.
When the D's won the flag, and I felt sort of fulfilled as a football supporter, and then the following year Geelong won it, I actually just went far out. I almost just have to tip my cap. It's ridiculous.
You've got to admire them as a club. It's pretty cool.
Suns. Do they do it? Talk to me.
When I look at the Suns, I genuinely, some of their best football over the last 2 years, even last year, some of the games they played, when they're in full flight, they're a pretty fucking solid outfit.
I love that they've got the home ground advantage now. They've turned People's Choice Stadium almost into a GMHBA style setup. They don't lose up there now. So that'll hold them in good stead because they play up there every second week. They've turned Darwin into a bit of a fortress. So you could almost bank what? You get 9 games at People's Choice, 2 games in Darwin. You almost bank 10 wins already before we even start the season. That's on the brink of finals.
Purely because it's Gold Coast and they've got a bit of a bottle job about their history.
Yeah.
I don't know. They could find a way to not make it happen, but I don't know what that list doesn't have, really. Like, maybe they're still a bit young. I don't know. Some of their superstars. Damien Hardwick, obviously, he's going to go down as one of the greatest coaches ever with what he did with Richmond, but I think it's huge for his legacy piece if he can get this side into the finals for the first time.
I think he will get another flag with them.
Wow. I've got him in 8th, but I wouldn't be surprised if mid-season people are going, this Gold Coast team are serious.
I've got him in 11th.
Wow. No, I mean, that's probably like...
Sort of contradicts everything we've been saying.
No. I think logically that makes sense.
Well, once again, I haven't seen it yet, and I've done the shuffle,
so fair.
and maybe I trust a Cats or a Freo or other teams, a Brisbane a little bit more, but
100%, yeah.
when I've done my shuffle, they're in the blanket that could finish anywhere, but I just don't quite have them up there yet.
Holy shit, I put Brisbane in 10th. And I had my reasons, but that just looks silly.
The Giants.
Got them in 3rd.
I got them in 1st. They were phenomenal last year. Jesse Hogan's the best forward in the comp at the moment. Their backline's bulletproof. I think Toby Green leading them out is exciting. And yeah, I know that they lost a little bit of depth, but it feels like they've got so many players playing VFL that could have been playing the last 2 or 3 years. So they're good to go. The Giants, I have them finishing on top.
Well, they lost a few, didn't they? So they lost Peatling, they lost Cumming, they lost Perryman.
They almost lost Wade Durkinson.
Well, they lost Haynes. I know Haynes wasn't really too involved in... Who? Sorry, what you said?
Wade Durkinson got held to his contract, so they didn't lose Wade, which was good.
Wait, that's huge for the brand. A lot of people are saying this Stone bloke's coming out of nowhere.
Yeah, Connor Stone.
Connor Stone, apparently he's going to play off half-back and be real good. I don't know.
Yeah, they've always got players in the VFL that are just ready to go.
Isaac Heaney and Joe Danaher don't exist. GWS would have won both those. I know they wouldn't have played them both.
And
if they
the
won
year
first
before,
one,
when the Pies got up, they lost by a point and a prep, and they probably should have.
Yeah. True. They've really been unlucky, haven't they? Well,
they're ready. They're ready to go, the Giants. This is who everyone has come to see our answer for. The mighty Flying Hawks.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I reckon there's a lot of interest in Hawk ball to see whether they can back it up in 2025.
Where do you have them?
10th.
Notoriously, the history has shown that a team will jump out of nowhere, make that massive jump,
and then plateau.
Then drop off a little bit,
Adelaide
and then next year they'll fly.
Yep.
So I rate that. I've got Hawthorn in 5th. I am sheepish on it. I'm a little bit sheepish on it. They're maybe still a little bit young. Maybe last year they surprised teams and maybe they're going to be worked out a little bit. I don't know. I think Sam Mitchell's a pretty clever fella.
Yeah.
I think Will Day's going to go nuts this year. I think Guinea's just going to get better. I think the Wizards just going to get better. Battle and Barras, that's serious.
Doesn't click straight away though. Took Lever and May 18 months. They were pretty garbage together.
Yeah, Lever
to start
looked
off.
really bad when he first came to Melbourne, and then he looked super in that finals premiership push. But I think Barras is good enough and professional enough to just slot in and do his thing. Yeah, their best is fucking exciting, isn't it? Last year that was a good show.
It's good to see if they can do it again. Like, can they buy into it? The Melbourne Footy Club. A lot of people think that they could finish in bottom 4. The Cliffs arrived. This is the end. It's a fractured footy club internally. They're not good enough anymore. All the players want to leave, and then other people think they've cleaned out a lot of skeletons that was in the closet. The 22 is as sound as anyone else's in the comp if it's healthy, and there's no reason why they can't compete. Where do you sit in that argument? Which end of the spectrum?
If Oliver gets back, Petrarca's healthy, Viney had a great year last year, Gorn's obviously doing his thing. Like, if it all works, why can't they be a really good team? Put them at 11th because I can't trust that a culture thing's just going to change,
That's a good call.
I just think, Melbourne culture and just the last couple of years have really not impressed me. But when they're rolling, they got enough talent.
You've got them at 11th, and what do you think their scope is?
I think they've done it. The team's not
so
that.
This season, do you reckon it's 11th to 1st, or do you say 11th to 7th?
No. I wouldn't be surprised if Melbourne won the flag.
So you think that the gap for the D's is as high and as low as that?
I genuinely think 12 to 1st is like, if Adelaide finished top 4 and won a flag, I mean, I'd be a bit surprised, but it wouldn't be like, oh my God, that's you know what I mean?
With my position with the D's, I'm going bias mode. I'm backing us in more than going glass half empty, because there's not going to be many seasons where I look and see Petrarca, Oliver, Pickett, Gorn, Viney, May, Lever still in the same squad. So until they do leave the club or retire, I'm going to back the side in. I think they can make the top 8, and I think it's really important for the D's to win a final. I think if they made the finals and got bailed out really early, that would be 5 finals in a row that they have lost. So I think they need to win a final this year. I've got them in 8th, and I'm backing the team in. But an easy fixture. The young stars are developing well. The old stars are raring to go. So I think there's no reason why they can't make finals.
Yeah, I don't think 8th is like a super biased call from you. I thought you were going to put him top 4 or something. And even then, I'm like, as I said, I don't think 8th is a terrible shout at all.
Where are North going?
The Kangas. See, this may be a bit biased. I got them at 13th.
Yeah. I think they need to win 6 to 8.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think if we win over 6 games, if we win 6 games, I think over under in the punting departments is 5.5, which I think is a great line. If you're an Essendon and maybe a couple of the other teams that I've got us finishing above, fan, you're probably like, dickhead, North aren't going to be higher, but we need to learn how to win, obviously. But some of the quarters, I know you can't win a game by playing one quarter, but some of the quarters they put together last year, as well as some absolutely horrific 3 other quarters followed by it, was pretty good footy.
Pretty boring bottom 4, to be honest. I've just got the Roos in 16th. I think they've finished there the last couple of years. Keeping it simple, Roos at 16. Port Adelaide, they've been close for a lot of years.
This is one that I'm looking at now. I think maybe I put them a bit high. I've got them at 9.
I've got them at 5. I've got them just outside the 4. You've got them just outside the 8.
Wow. I just think the timing on the exclusive of Ken Hinkley's succession plan was horrid, personally. Why would you say that a couple of weeks before round 1? Why wouldn't you just wait? Even if you knew that internally that was going to happen, why have they said Josh Carr's going to coach next year?
Yeah, well, Kane Corns goes, that's a cop-out, and they've sort of put their hand up and said, we're not going to win it this year, which I don't think is true. I think Ken
hinders.
I think Ken can coach the year out and salute at the end of the year. They're just a team that's been there every season. Every season they've been top 4. Like, they just keep showing up, which is very impressive. And the Lions won it from 5th last year, so I've got them in 5th, just outside the 4. But who knows? They host a home final, and who knows what they could do in finals with Ken's last crack at it.
Well, I think Horn Francis is looking like he's going to go nuts this year.
Yeah, he's such a star.
Yeah, Port at 9. They've got the talent. That's why I've got them at 9. I think some things around them doesn't seem too flash. Purely off talent.
The Tigers I have in 18th.
Yeah, I think everyone's got the Tigers at 18th. Is there a world where the Tigers shock us and finish 17th?
I think they could still be better than West Coast, potentially. I'm worried about West Coast.
Really?
Well, it's the first year of a new coach.
Richmond, I think it's like they finish 8th and who cares? Like, even Richmond fans, you're like, who cares?
18th.
Yeah, 18th, sorry. They're like, we've almost done a rebuild in one draft.
Yeah.
Like, we've got that much young talent. Who gives a shit if we don't win a game all year? We just want our young guys around the footy learning what AFL pace is like.
All right, we're up to the St Kilda Football Club. Last year, I put them in the top 4. They made finals the year before my last year's predictions. And I just thought, why not? Ross is a bit of a superstar. They were unhealthy and they still made the top 8. So I backed them in, and then they let me down. They let me down massively. So I'm back to square one with my trust with the Saints. They're in the bracket of teams that I just need to see it happen before I tip it to happen. I've got the Saints in 13th, and I think that's just where they've lived for a long, long time.
Oh yeah, I've got them at 15th. I reckon Ross is a genius. I don't think it's going to be his fault if they get to 15th.
Max King saw Philippou's out.
I like Philippou seems like a great kid and he shows flashes, but I haven't seen like this amazing talent that everyone talks about. Like,
no, well,
every time I watch
compared to like Owens and Windhager, who have come in and shown some stuff.
Owens and Windhager.
He hasn't quite shown it yet, but I think he's just developing at his own pace.
He's got the body and he moves well, like a Bont sort of thing, and he can fly. But yeah, Saints at 15th for me, and I don't know. I love Jack Steele. I love Jack Sinclair. They could be all right, but yeah, 15th.
Swannies.
Swans, I've got them at 2nd.
But I got the Swans in 4.
A lot of people talking about the drop-off.
Well, I worry...
Swans missing the 8.
I worry if Dean Cox is doing too much. Hey, guys, let's run 2 2-kilometre time trials. Gotcha, a bit of a prank. It's like, Dean, I know you're the coach. I know you want to stamp your authority on this group. Hey, guys, let's watch the grand final and let's critique it for 8 hours. Like, maybe that is awesome attention to detail by Dean Cox. Maybe that's just him trying a little bit too hard. Like, say you're Goulden and you got to run 2 2Ks.
He's going, I'd beat this shit up.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, that's a little bit frustrating. Like, I've proven that I'm an AFL star. Yeah. And then sitting there for 8 hours doing the grand final, I think I'd be like, oh, that's a little bit annoying. Like what? I don't know. I'm not sure if he's doing too much. But
so you got a bit of a hint of 2017 Adelaide lose the grand final.
Yeah, and then they
a bit of going a bit extra. Listen at the camp with a blindfold on about the Richmond theme song or whatever the hell. Like people are saying that. There's whispers around. But I've got him. So that it hasn't affected them too much. I've got him second purely because how good that list is.
So Western Bulldogs fans right now on both of our ladders, it's pretty depthy. It's pretty far down the ladder and featured in finals a lot recently. They've got a young list, like they're not necessarily old. Why the hell have I got them 15th and you've got them 16th?
Well, basically, what have they got? what have they got?
So I keep going back to they've lost Daniel Smith and McRae, but a Bulldog supporter would say they weren't playing last year. So does that impede their depth? Do they have young players coming through? Like I just think they've been in no man's land for a while. I think they're missing 5 or 6 of their best 22 to start the first month of the season. And then I think you're playing catch up a little bit.
Daniel and Smith outs. You're like, yeah, you're right. They haven't really been playing that much. But the whole thing around Bevo, I don't have a problem with Bevo. I just think it's all too much, I reckon. I don't know. I just don't. The vibe.
It might have ran its course. Like they've squeezed every bit of juice out of the list and out of the relationship. So potentially it's just ran its course. They've saluted. They've made grand finals. Is there much more motivation for Bevo? Like, can he keep going to the well? Yeah. I'm not sure. I think he's a great coach.
Yeah, I think he's got elements of a great coach.
So yeah, I don't know. Maybe they need a bit of a reset.
I just want, if they're going to win games this year, I just want Bont to get 3 votes in every single one of them. That man
It's
almost like if he retires and doesn't get a Brownlow, Jesus Christ, the AFL just need to, it's just gross. He should have 5 of them.
Yeah, he should.
Over the last 5 years, 6 years, he's the best player in the comp. Like, he's number 1, and he doesn't have a Brownlow. It's just disgusting. I've got the Bulldogs in 16th, and I've got North in 13th, and we play them round 1. So Bulldogs fans, you get a chance to rip shit through me if you pump us by 10 goals. They always belt the piss out of us.
Yeah, they've got opportunity to really just desert.
So if round 1, the Bulldogs beat North, I've got us finishing 3 spots higher than them, I will change my ladder.
Last but not least, Cookson, we have the West Coast Eagles. I've got them in 17th. I don't see any improvement coming.
Is the young talent around Harley, like, how does that look? Because I know some of the names, but I don't really know.
I don't see it. So I love Noah Long, but he's a bit of like a random one.
And is it Elijah Hewitt?
I haven't seen Elijah Hewitt take the game by the scruff of the neck just yet. Ruben Jinby didn't quite work as a midfielder, so he's gone back, but he was a first round ready-made big-bodied mid, and they've already transitioned him to the half-back line because it hasn't quite worked. Campbell Chesser is another first-round draft pick that hasn't quite had it click for him. So, I don't know. Does Liam Baker and Graham
Baker's
come in and
Graham,
give him a chop out?
Like Graham does heaps for you. Baker's a really good pick.
Well, I love Liam Baker, but I don't know. Maybe Jagger Smith would have been handy around Harley.
Yeah. Well, what was their highest pick?
They got Bo Allen. Yes,
that was their highest pick. I know the name.
He's a big-bodied mid.
Okay.
190.
Yeah, I don't know.
WA boy.
Put a bit more forward than what you would expect. I think you're relying on Yo and Kelly and Waterman and all these older guys. I mean, Waterman's not that old, but to sort of go up a gear again. And can you rely on that?
Well, there you have it. That is our ladder for 2025. Comment down below the howlers that we've made. Comment down below some support. We need some support. The criticism gets to us. This is a hard job. There's 18 positions we have to fill.
I reckon the other 15 teams are saying we should be making the 8.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Thanks for everyone who tuned in. Thanks for all the support, and we'll see you for some more content very soon.